The following is being brought to you by WZROnline.com, your number one source for all your wrestling needs. WrestleZone Radio. WrestleZone Radio. WrestleZone Radio starts now. Join us in the live chat room by visiting WrestleZone.com during the show. Now, here are your hosts, Chris Cash and Nick, the man of 1,000 names.
Not Chris and Nick, but it is WrestleZone Radio. This is Matt Boone, joined as always by my partner in crime from East Greenbush, New York, Ryan Clark. We're going to be here for the next 2 hours talking pro wrestling and mixed martial arts, where we'll be joined in hour number 2 by TNA star and former WWE standout Kip James, better known to some as Billy Gunn. Before we get into anything else, Ryan, Jesus Christ, man, introduce yourself.
Yeah, buddy, what's crackin'?
It's week number 2 in the return of WrestleZone Radio. How we doing? How was last week for you? Everything went good, right?
Last week was all right, man, but this week, baby, thousands of dollars later, lots of production. We're ready, baby. We got new microphones. I think the live call situation is all worked out for later after the first commercial break, and looked good, baby. It looked good.
And we look better if you get up on that mic. That's one thing I know. Before we get into anything else, let me start. You can work on that while I get some of these plugs out the way.
There
you go. Sounds perfect. We can call. You can call us anytime during the show at 540-551-4869. That's 540-551-4869. We'll be taking your calls throughout the show. We'll have Kip James. We'll talk about tonight's Raw, this weekend's Royal Rumble pay-per-view, among a number of other topics. And before we get into any news or anything like that, let me get the rest of the plugs out of the way. You can check out the official WrestleZone Radio website. There we'll keep you up to date on all the upcoming guests. We'll give you free archives of past shows, all that good stuff. It's at WrestleZone.com/radio. WrestleZone.com/radio. You can also check out the official live chat room for the show, which is jam-packed as we speak. You can head on over there, if I stop stuttering, at WrestleZone.com/listen. And then, of course, you can talk to all the wrestlers we got on the site: Conan, Chris Masters, Justin Credible, Glenn Gilberti, Scott Hudson, Kevin Kelly. They're over at forums.WrestleZone.com. You can talk to them one-on-one live directly any day of the week. So that's all the good plugs and stuff. Ryan, the week of wrestling, bro. What do we got going on this week?
The week of wrestling. Hey, before we get into that, man, I think we were just talking to. How do I sound? It sounds all right, right?
You could be better.
A little bit. We'll work it out. We'll work it out during the commercial break. But Chris wanted me to note what's going to happen, dude, is every week from hour number 1, from 7 to 8 o'clock, it's going to be Matt Boone and Ryan Clark, and then in hour number 2, the Nick, man of 1,000 words, and Chris Chisholm, they're going to do hour 2, and they're going to have a live guest every week. So basically, it's going to be, it'll be a 2-hour show, but it'll be split host. We'll do the first hour, and we're going to have a new theme next week.
All right. Here we go. We got a caller. Let's see what he wants to talk about real quick before we get into stuff. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from, buddy?
Nick from St. Louis, Missouri.
What's up, man? What's your question? What do you want to talk about?
I just wanted to talk about Spike Dudley. I was wondering, when's he going to come back to wrestling, and what's his future with any organization out there, and some of the updates. Do you think you guys are going to be able to get him on WrestleZone Radio anytime soon? Because Spike Dudley is an amazing athlete, and I just wanted to say that ECW this week, Kofi Kingston, legend, is going to be on. Hopefully you guys can talk about that and talk about how ECW can get more ratings and the future of ECW. And is Kevin Kelly related to Kelly? Kelly, thank you very much, and have a great night. Go Raw. Randy Orton is the best champion of all time. Thank you very much. Randy Orton, RKO, Jeff Hardy, Why?
All right, that's enough of that. What's up, man? You want to answer some of this?
Oh, man. Oh, that's awesome. Spike Dudley, man. The last I heard about Spike Dudley, he was working on indie promotions. I don't expect him back in WWE anytime soon.
Get up on that mic.
That was wild. That was crazy. Calls are good, man. I like this new call thing.
They bring a lot of energy to the show, man.
They do bring a lot of. What else did he have? Spike Dudley? No, honestly, I don't expect Spike Dudley to be back in WWE or TNA anytime soon.
All right, I got to tell you one more time. Producer's bugging me, and I'm hearing it myself. Get up on that mother friggin' microphone, brother.
All right. I'm sorry. How's that? Better? Better?
It's a little bit better.
Okay. All right. Good.
There you go. All right, what we got on Raw this week, man?
Monday Night Raw later tonight. Good Raw. Looks like a good Raw. They're going to debut a brand new set because they're going high definition this week, which should be cool. We've actually, somebody that was inside the arena just sent me a picture through email, and I put it on the WZROnline.com website. So definitely go check it. It looks awesome, man. It's got like a red glow to it, an oval shape. There's no more Titantron. And it looks good, man. It looks good.
I'm having a lot of trouble hearing you right now.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Break. But after that, Mr. Kennedy is also going to take on Shawn Michaels, which should be a very good match. Very good match between those two. And what else? Oh, Triple H is going to face a mystery opponent this week on the show, and I know the Big Show is supposed to be back fairly soon, so I could be tonight. I had thought the Royal Rumble possibly as a mystery opponent, but the way they built it up last week with Vince McMahon, and they did a backstage segment with Vince and Triple H, and they built it up like it was someone big, so could be the Big Show, could be tonight.
Brother, we can't even hear you, man.
You want to let's go to a commercial break and we'll try to work it out.
That's great, man. WrestleZone Radio rules. We always have yeah, we'll take a quick commercial break. Get the number down, everybody listening, so you can call in and save us from this mess. The number is 540-551-4869. We're going to take a quick break, try and fix this crap, and we'll be back with more WrestleZone Radio right after this.
Where do you go online to check out videos, movie news, trailers, sports, and video games? Allow me to make it easy for you. Head over to www.craveonline.com. We have everything I just mentioned and a whole lot more, including message boards, hot women, and tons of humor and comedy content that'll keep you laughing for hours. If you have an interest in something, I bet we'll have you covered at craveonline.com. That's www.craveonline.com. I'll see you there.
He considers himself God's gift to wrestling, and millions of his faithful agree. With nearly 4 hours of footage and exclusive commentary and matches, this DVD chronicles Daniel's rise from Chicago's Windy City Wrestling to the Asylum in Nashville, and finally to the top of TNA. TNA Home Video presents Heaven Sent, Hell Bound, the best of Christopher Daniels. Available at most retailers and TNAWrestling.com.
For all the latest in mixed martial arts, be sure to visit WrestleZone's sister site, SureDog.com. Complete with daily news, exclusive video, interviews, live radio broadcast, interactive forums, and the very popular Fight Finder with bios and complete match-by-match histories of your favorite fighters. SureDog is the only place you need when it comes to mixed martial arts. Visit SureDog.com today.
Available now on DVD. John Triton is on the toughest, most important mission of his life.
You have a hostage. It's my wife.
And with everything on the line,
I gotta do something, and I gotta do it now.
nothing and no one can stop him.
See, I tried to kill this guy twice today.
Now, see the Marine in a whole new way with the unrated version. Get more edge-of-your-seat action, more mind-blowing explosions, more of the Marine. This unrated version features material too hot for theaters. Plus, special behind-the-scenes features. John Cena is the Marine. Only unrated version. Available now on DVD. Rated version also available.
WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know where to go. WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. Covering all the latest breaking news daily. Interactive forums where you can chat with thousands of other wrestling fans. Exclusive editorials and audio features by some of today's top wrestling superstars. Exclusive video content, weekly polls, live play-by-play coverage of every WWE and TNA pay-per-view. And now, featuring WrestleZone Radio, live with news, in-depth discussions, debates, and interviews with wrestling's top stars, past and present. When you think wrestling, think WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com.
What we've got here is failure to...
Sick of this life, not that you care. I'm not the only one with whom these feelings.
And we're back. Matt Boone, Ryan Clark, WrestleZone Radio. We should have those problems ironed out. We have Ryan on his cell now. Ryan, you want to try that again, man?
See what happens when you go out to Walmart and you buy one of those cheap microphones that's like a $2 microphone. I thought we had everything ready to go tonight, man. It's something always happens at the last minute, doesn't it? Doesn't it seem like that?
It wouldn't be WrestleZone Radio unless we fucked up 100 times on air and off before the show. So.
No doubt, no doubt. Everybody's still here, though. The live chat room's kicking right now. WrestleZone.com /radio. The live links for that. A lot of people in the chat room right now. So, and then Kip James is coming up in hour number 2.
That's what everybody's here for anyway, is Mr. Kip James. But before we get anything else, let me get the number out one more time. 540-551-4869. Call us up anytime. We'll take a call, see what you want to talk about, shoot a little shit with you. I guess you can go back into digging into Raw since probably nobody heard it the first time if you'd like to.
Yeah, you wanna? I'll just start from the beginning. Raw tonight has Mr. Kennedy against Shawn Michaels, which should be a very good match when you put those two together in a ring. Should be real good. And then Raw is going high definition tonight. And actually, we've got a fan that's at the arena. Actually, is inside the arena already. And we've put up a pic on WrestleZone.com. The new Raw set. It has like a red glow to it. It looks pretty cool, man. An oval shape. There's no more Titantron this week, so.
They had a big screen of some kind, though. You showed me the picture, right?
Yeah, we actually it's I just put it up on WrestleZone.com, so it's people want to check it out. Head on over there. It's looks good, man.
Let's see what this dude wants to talk about real quick. He can buy us some time. Collect your thoughts, Mr. Garrett. And let's see if I learned how to do this correctly. There we go. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where you from? Yeah, we lost him. Screw it.
We lost him. Screw it. Hey, the another thing I want to talk about is the WWE Royal Rumble pay-per-view is coming up this Sunday. Got a lot of people. I'm sure there's going to be some matches tonight on Raw, qualifying matches. You want to run down the card, man?
I don't have it in front of me, so you can run it down. I'll let you know what I think.
All right, we got from Raw, the superstars of Raw that are going to be in the Rumble are
let's try one more. Hold on. Yeah, we'll try one more, please. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from, buddy?
I'm Brian Weed.
What's up, buddy?
I was going to ask you, do you know if Trish is going to come back ever?
If Christian?
Trish, I think he said.
Oh, Trish Stratus?
Yeah.
She was at the Raw anniversary show, but for now I think she's going to stick to stuff in Hollywood, try to land some movie roles, movie gigs, stuff like that. I don't think she's going to make any full-time return. Like I said, she was back on Raw a couple weeks for the anniversary show, but other than that, no, I don't think you're going to see her return full-time. Back to the Royal Rumble, stars that are going to be there from Raw: Umaga, Snitsky, Hardcore Holly, Mick Foley, Hornswoggle, Cody Rhodes, Carlitos, Santino, Shawn Michaels, and Mr. Kennedy are all qualified so far for the Royal Rumble. That's from the Raw brand. On the SmackDown brand, you've got The Undertaker, Batista, Kane, Jamie Noble, Fit Finlay, Mark Henry, and the Great Khali, all qualified as well. And then from ECW, you've got John Morrison, The Miz, and Shelton Benjamin. Like I said, there's going to be more qualifying matches tonight on Raw, but Royal Rumble looks good this year, man.
I guess. I mean, when I was really into wrestling, that was always my favorite pay-per-view, just because of the match itself. I remember growing up, and I don't know, there was just something about it that was awesome, because, I mean, it was all the big stars in the ring at the same time, and back then, you would barely have two big stars in the ring at the same time, because build up to pay-per-views was a top star squashing a jobber, and then the pay-per-view, you finally got to see a big star versus a big star. And then they had this Royal Rumble where, they have 30 big stars, and it was always exciting to me as a fan, as a kid, when they would do the countdown, and you're like sitting there wondering who's coming in next, and sometimes they would play the music, sometimes they wouldn't. I always preferred, do they still do that now? Do they, like, when it's 3, 2, 1, do they hit the guy's music and then they come to the ring, or do they just come?
They hit all the music and then the guys walk to the ring. I always liked it because everybody would be able to hit their high spots at some point during the match, you know what I mean?
And all the baby faces would team up on the big giant heel like Andre the Giant. Let's see what this guy thinks about the Royal Rumble. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Brian. I'm from Eagle Lake.
What's up, buddy?
I was gonna ask you, do you know when Tori Wilson gonna come back?
Tori Wilson right now is out with a back injury. She just updated her MySpace page about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What's that?
I said, didn't she say something like she was getting, I don't know if she said it this way, but like the general consensus of what she was saying was like she's kind of getting sick of wrestling and the road and everything. Wasn't it kind of like that?
You know, it seemed like it the way she put it. I mean, she had said that the back injury wasn't getting better, but I think she opened up a couple clothing stores, and I think basically it's a way for her to take time off to try to get that up and running, because you know a lot of these people, they don't have anything, you know, post WWE with no insurance benefits or anything like that. But when it comes time to leave WWE when you're 50 years old and your body's all beat up, you're going to need a second job, something else to resort to if you haven't saved up your money over the years. Yeah. And I think Tori's getting to that age where she's not going to be a diva anymore, and she's going to need to go away. And this is her way to try to get that, you know.
Well, she used to be a fitness model like Trish Stratus, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know why she couldn't. I mean, I think it's when they leave, like Chyna, Sable, they all think, okay, you know, I'm too big for. I don't want to say it that way. They're too big for WWE, but. When they leave, they don't want to just go make big money doing something with their name value, like being a model or, you know, doing this or that. They always want to be in TV or movies. They want to be in Hollywood still, and they just want to go above what WWE, you know, delivered as far as Hollywood status to them. You know, and it never worked for any of them. So I don't know why, like, she couldn't just go back.
Lita, there's another one that fits that. You know, she left WWE to try to go to Hollywood. Or I think she's got that band, but I mean, it hasn't done anything. It's
what are
like
they called again? Like the Lucha Gores or?
Lucha Gores, yeah, and then Jericho had that band Fozzy, where he left WWE. And
Christy Hemme, she has a band, right?
Yeah, she's got a band too called Hemme.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, all these guys, you know, it's a second job, you know, post WWE. But I mean, it didn't work out for Jericho with Fozzy, obviously. Hasn't really worked out with Trish and Lita. I mean, it's not really worked for her either.
Hold on, check this out. It didn't really work for Trish or Lita. It's just, it didn't really work for them.
Oh, you had this.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, God. Got me again, bro.
Where's that enthusiasm? Where's Ryan Clark? Oh, yeah.
Back, buddy. Back.
What are you talking about?
What else? Royal Rumble. There's other matches on the Royal Rumble I wanted to talk about, too.
Yeah, what's the non-Rumble matches?
Randy Orton. Yeah, we still got to stick to Royal Rumble. Randy Orton against Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, did you see that last week on Raw?
Of course not. What happened?
You didn't watch it. You never watched Raw, man. The Jeff Hardy climbed the Titantron, probably a good 20, 25 feet in the air, and did a swanton bomb off the top, on the top of Randy Orton. Obviously, you know.
You were telling me about that when it happened. You said he was set up for some big high spot or something. Was that last week?
Yeah, that was end last week's Raw. That was pretty crazy, man. Unbelievable.
All right, let's see what this guy thought of his big spot last week, or whatever he wants to talk about. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where you from?
This is Brian. I'm from Eagle Lake.
What's up, buddy? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about, buddy?
Well, I was going to tell you, why is TNA always, like last Thursday, they was making fun of Stone Cold with Shark Boy, and to me, I don't got no disrespect for TNA, but I think TNA sucks.
There you go. What do you have to say?
You know, it's just a gimmick. You know, it's a takeoff of Steve Austin. They tried to do it a couple weeks back, and then it went away. And then they did something on TNA Impact last week where they have a doctor. There was a backstage segment throughout the show with the doctor, and Shark Boy was dying, and they did the thing. He was a fish out of water, and at the very end, he jumped off the table and cut a Steve Austin-like promo at the end. That was the whole build-up.
Mick Foley's favorite wrestler.
What's that?
I said, isn't that Mick Foley's favorite wrestler?
Mick Foley's favorite wrestler? Shark Boy?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Really?
Let's see what this guy
thinks. I've never heard
you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
How you doing?
Hello? We can barely hear you, buddy.
Something about Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Royal Rumble. Do you think he's going to be in the Royal Rumble? I don't know. What do you think?
Steve Austin in the Royal Rumble? No, it's a possibility he'll be there, but as far as being involved in the actual Royal Rumble, no, I don't think he'll be there.
I don't think there'll be. The lines are open again. Here we go.
You're such an ass.
Caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
This is Sean. I'm from Kentucky.
What's up, Sean? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, that Shark Boy segment, it didn't quite make sense to me either. I mean, TNA, they're on national TV and all this now, and they're giving all this valuable TV time to a character that they're probably not even going to advance or anything. I mean, do you all really see much of a point in them doing that?
Well, they've done stuff with Sanjay Dutt with the Guru gimmick, and they've done the Motor City Machine Guns with Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. There's another guy, Jay Lethal with the Black Machismo gimmick. Sharp Boy, I mean, it's just a way to get him on television. Honestly, I don't think it's that bad. It's just, it's a way to try to get him seen. You just said that they had a national television deal. It's a way to get him seen on national television with some sort of gimmick, whether it's a Steve Austin, takeoff or not.
Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
This is Brian in Vegas.
What's
up,
buddy?
Talk about, Brian?
I just wanted to give my opinion about this year's Royal Rumble. I seriously think The Undertaker is going to repeat again this year.
Why do you think that?
Because they're setting it up for WrestleMania, him and Edge. So that's what they got to be doing that. They got to be setting that up.
All right,
it's possible.
What do you think?
It's possible. I think you had talked about earlier in the show, Matt, with where when they do the gimmicks, a lot of guys team up and they try to take out the big guy. With the Big Show coming back, I think that's going to be where a bunch of guys team up and try to take him out. Is the Undertaker winning yet?
You said Khali's in the Rumble as well?
Yeah, there's other guys in there, like Khali in there, the Undertaker's in there, Batista's in there, Kane, Umaga. There's definitely other guys. Mr. Kennedy.
So I guarantee you there'll be a spot where it's maybe Big Show and Khali will be in there by themselves. They'll be beating on each other, can't get each other over the top, and then slowly the ring will fill up, and they'll all work on Big Show and try and get him out, and they can't. Then they'll all work on Khali and try and get him out, and they can't. And you know what I mean? I bet there's something planned with those two big giant freaks that'll take up a good little segment of the Royal Rumble match itself. Let me plug the number one more time. These calls are coming in like crazy. 540-551-4869. But what else do we have in the Rumble besides Orton and
I'll finish this up real quick. Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy for the WWE title. For the world title, it's Edge versus Rey Mysterio. JBL versus Chris Jericho. JBL's back.
I haven't seen him since his return. I kind of want to watch. Has he been good still? Like before he left, is he still?
JBL, all he's done so far is cut promos. He hasn't. There's been no wrestling matches.
That's
the
awesome.
in-ring return. Yeah, so he's back. JBL, Chris Jericho, and the last one that's announced so far is Ric Flair versus MVP with Ric Flair's career.
Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Dave from Connecticut.
What's up, Dave? What do you want to talk about?
I just want to mention, doesn't everybody think that the WWE is so much better lately without Cena and Lashley around?
There you go. What
the WWE is so much better than what?
Is it so much better than it used to be without John Cena and Bobby Lashley on TV every week?
Cena is a gimmick that's for kids, and it's over huge. I mean, Cena
it was getting repetitive too. I mean, it was the same thing every time he came out,
But kids love that, man.
Yeah.
Kids eat that up, and he was for merchandise. It was him.
Girls eat it up too. There's always those couple wrestlers that get not only the kids but the girls, like the Hardy Boys.
The Hardys, and I think Rey Mysterio's over with the kids a lot too.
Exactly.
But for merchandise, you need Cena. He's a top draw merchandise and house shows as well. So
I wonder if this is going to be a prank call. Let me check it out here. I'm not scared of pranks. Here we go. Oh, can't take it. Don't block your number if you want to talk to us. Anyways, what's up?
Oh, well, screw him.
Here he is.
So that's it. That's it for the Royal Rumble, man.
Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Sir, this is Brian. I need to ask you 2 questions.
Okay.
Do you know when Candice Michelle is going to come back? And another one, I can't wait for Raw. I can't wait to see that new set.
Like
you can see the new set. Like Ryan said, you can see a picture of the new set over at WrestleZone.com right now. We got that up.
Yes, I checked it out, and it looks awesome.
Thank you. All right, Ryan, you want to answer this question, man?
Yeah, the Raw set, like Boone said, it's over on the WrestleZone. And as far as Candice Michelle, probably a couple weeks. She just did an interview with somebody. Can't remember the newspaper name, but said she'd be back in a few weeks. Probably shortly after the Royal Rumble. I'd give her about a month.
About a month. All right, what do you want to do? Are you done with the Rumble, or do we have a couple more matches to run down still?
That's it, man. That's it. I know you wanted to do a little UFC MMA segment, right?
Yeah, I want to take a break. I'll do a very quick UFC segment because there's a lot of stuff going on, including Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle, which even the wrestling fans should care about. So we'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll run down the UFC stuff real quick. We'll talk more about tonight's Raw and this Sunday's Royal Rumble, and we'll take more of your live phone calls at 540-551-4869. We'll be back right after this commercial break with more WrestleZone Radio. Stay tuned.
WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know where to go. WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. Covering all the latest breaking news daily. Interactive forums where you can chat with thousands of other wrestling fans. Exclusive editorials and audio features by some of today's top wrestling superstars. Exclusive video content, weekly polls, live play-by-play coverage of every WWE and TNA pay-per-view. And now, featuring WrestleZone Radio, live with news, in-depth discussions, debates, and interviews with wrestling's top stars, past and present. When you think wrestling, think WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com.
There's only one place to go for all of the latest news and information on total non-stop action wrestling. It's TNAWrestling.com. TNAWrestling.com. Log on right now and get your fix of all things TNA Wrestling. Event photos, streaming video, and all of the backstage gossip is just one click away. Plus, right now, you can find special savings in our merchandise area with a complete line of DVDs featuring Nevermore, the best of Raven, Enigma, the best of Jeff Hardy, and Phenomenal, the best of AJ Styles. Plus, all of our monthly pay-per-view events on DVD as well. And don't forget to check out photos of our lovely ladies in the Knockout section. It's your online home for total non-stop.
See the Marine in a whole new way with the unrated version. Get more edge-of-your-seat action, more mind-blowing explosions, more of the Marine. This unrated version features material too hot for theaters. Plus, special behind-the-scenes features. John Cena is the Marine. Only unrated version. Available now on DVD. Rated version also available.
We're back. Matt Boone and Ryan Clark, WrestleZone Radio. We're going to run down some UFC stuff real quick here. Take more of your phone calls at 540-551-4869. Yeah. So, UFC 80 Rapid Fire was this past Saturday in Newcastle, England. It featured the vacant lightweight title match. Vacant because Sean Sherk was stripped for failing a drug test after his title victory over Hermes Franca at UFC 73. The title was up for grabs with BJ Penn, who's a former 170-pound welterweight champion in the UFC, coming down to fight Ultimate Fighter 2 reality show winner Joe Daddy Stevenson in the main event of a very bloody fight. I know you saw it, Ryan. That whole pay-per-view was great. What did you think?
A lot of knockouts on that pay-per-view. Real good show. There was one match what was it? The BJ Penn versus Joe Stevenson. Ah, that's right. Joe Stevenson was a bloody mess.
Yep.
During that fight. Actually, there's another UFC this Wednesday, right?
There's a UFC free show on Spike TV called UFC Fight Night 12. That'll feature Mike Swick versus Josh Berkman. They're both Ultimate Fighter reality show veterans. And there's Nate Diaz. He's an Ultimate Fighter reality show winner. He's on the card. A lot of guys. Let me see if this caller wants to talk about UFC or if he just wants to talk about wrestling. Let's see what he wants to talk about real quick here. If I can hurry it up while I'm stalling, and I'm done stalling. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Daryl from Tennessee.
Daryl, you know anything about MMA, buddy?
Pardon?
Are you calling to talk about wrestling or mixed martial arts right now?
Wrestling.
All right, call back in a couple minutes, all right?
All right.
You sound very excited, by the way.
You are an ass, man.
So UFC, I'll just run down the quick match results real quick because I know a lot of people don't like hearing about UFC stuff, but well, at each time and Brock Lesnar and stuff, we got some stuff that relates to wrestling. Anyways, the main card results opened up with Jorge Rivera, Ultimate Fighter 3 veteran, I believe, or 4, beat Kendall Grove, who won the Ultimate Fighter in the Season 2 Ortiz coach. He beat him by knockout in a minute and 20 of round 1, which was considered an upset, although, as Ryan knows, I picked him to win, and Ryan was wrong and I was right. No laugh?
Do you know that I lost every single bet on that pay-per-view? I had a bunch of people over for that. And
yeah, me too. And you know I won every single bet, right? Because I tried telling you every fight, bet this guy. You said, no, I'm going to take this guy.
I know. I was talking to you online, and you kept saying, you're going to lose this one, you're going to lose this one. And I kept betting $20 with, a couple different people, each one, and I just kept going down. I was like minus 150 or something by the end of the night. Ridiculous.
I was absolutely flawless on the entire card, including the prelims. So the second fight on the pay-per-view was Wilson Gouveia versus Jason the Punisher Lambert. Wilson Gouveia knocked him out at 37 seconds of round 2 in a fight that Lambert was winning quite easily up until the knockout. Let's see if this guy wants to talk UFC. If he doesn't, I'm not even trying anymore because I assume everybody's calling to talk about professional wrestling. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from? Oh, there was our first prank right there. He should have started right off with his A game because that wasn't funny. I'm sure it could have been if he tried hard.
That did take a minute. You didn't try hard enough. Hey, by the way, a lot of people in the chat room are talking about it, and we forgot to plug it when we came back on. But Kip James is going to be up in hour number 2 with Nick, the man of 1,000 words, and Chris Cash. They're going to be up hour 2. Kip James from TNA. Actually, they did a TNA Impact taping tonight, so he's going to be coming straight from that. Probably may still even be at the Impact Zone when he does the interview. We'll have to wait and see on that. But Kip James, hour number 2 with Nick, the man of 1,000 names, and Chris Cash.
I thought we were going to call him Nick X. Anyways, I thought we were going to call him Nick X because that name was stupid, but he actually earned my respect last week, so he can call himself whatever he wants. We got Marcus Davis beat Jess Loudon by knockout, 104 of round 1. Fabricio Verdum beat Gabriel Gonzaga via rest stoppage from strikes at 434 of round 2. And as we said before, BJ Penn won the lightweight title, becoming the second person in UFC history to win 2 titles in different weight classes in the UFC, the other being Randy Couture. He beat Joe Stevenson via rear naked choke submission at 402 of round 2 in a bloody one-sided fight. Real quick, the fight of the night, bonus check went to Paul Kelly versus Paul Taylor, which was a prelim that aired on the pay-per-view where they just slugged like madmen for the first 30, 45 seconds. They were each given $35,000 on top of their contracted pay. The knockout of the night, which had to be a hard one to pick because there were, I think, 6 or 7 knockouts on the card. Wilson Gouveia's knockout of Jason Lambert earned Gouveia $35,000 on top of his pay. And submission of the night, obviously there was only one submission, and it was a great one. BJ Penn rear naked chokes Joe Stevenson. And gets
let me ask you, what's up with the UFC pay anyways? I mean, there's times where the fight of the night bonus that some of these guys, or the knockout bonus that some of the guys get paid, it's more than what they get paid for the actual fight.
Yeah, almost in a lot of cases it is. I mean, unless it's like a Chuck Liddell wins knockout of the night or something.
these guys don't stand up and say something. I mean, guys that are on the main event, when one guy's making $100,000 and the other guy's making $10,000, I mean, they still take the fight anyway.
Well, you got to think about sponsorship opportunities because you can make a lot of money just being a UFC fighter. You know, people will pay a lot of advertising dollars to get their little website on your ass while you're wrestling around in a cage. You know what I mean?
You see, who was the guy on the UFC pay-per-view this past weekend? He had advertising on his shorts for Condom Depot.
That company actually contacted me. They sponsored Gabriel Gonzaga, the guy that knocked out Mirko Krokop and lost to Randy Couture but broke his arm. He had CondomDepot.com on his ass. They sent me the press release and asked if we wanted an interview and all that good stuff. I just thought it was weird to see a condom company advertising in UFC, but whatever, man. Get that product out there however you can. Let me rush through some of that stuff.
And they had the O from Condom Depot right over his ass, and you were like, oh man.
Yeah, you had a bunch of people. I had nothing but girls over here watching UFC, and the two things that stood out that I can remember. One, they all laughed and giggled and said it looks like they're humping each other, which you hear anytime you watch UFC was girls. The other was the Condom Depot thing, and then the other was they were kind of freaked out at the end when BJ Penn was choking Joe Stevenson because of all the blood squirting out, and it was a little gory for them. But,
wait, pimping down there in Florida or what?
Well, I pimp everywhere I go. 50 states across the globe. Come on, man. You know me.
I'll bet you do, baby. I'll bet you do.
All right, let me run through this because this has got to be boring people. I mean, I like hearing about UFC, but I'm talking about it, not hearing about it. So even on board. UFC Fight Night 12 is free on Spike TV this Wednesday night. It emanates from the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada, and features a main event of Mike Quick Swick versus Josh Berkman, the People's Warrior. Diego Tavares fights Michihiro Omigawa, Patrick the Predator Cote. It's going to be taking on Drew McFedries, and Ultimate Fighter reality show winner Nate Diaz will be taking on Alvin Kid Robinson, who's coming fresh off his impressive victory over George Gurgel at the last Ohio show. And let's see if there's anything else that's worth talking about. Obviously, Brock Lesnar fights former UFC heavyweight champion Frank Mir February 2nd, which is right around the corner from the.
Let's talk about that. You think Frank's gonna do him, huh?
I'm not guaranteeing it, but I always look at it from the perspective because when we would watch UFCs with our buddies and stuff, we would always bet on the fights, and everybody knew me as the resident UFC expert and blah blah blah, quote unquote. And I would let them make their bets first because I was pretty confident that, even no matter who they bet, I could pick the winner, even if I let them bet first because they just go after the flashy name or the guy that looks like he's got the better body and looks like he is stronger physically. But this is the kind of fight where if everybody said, oh, we got Brock Lesnar, I would take Frank Mir. I'd have no problem because to me it's 50-50, maybe 60-40 towards Mir because, like I told you many times, the style matchup is Brock Lesnar's an amateur wrestler. He's training in striking, training in submissions, but he's a wrestler, Does he come into UFC with a 1-0 record for that one fight, or are they just gonna act like that never happened? No, it's an MMA record of 1-0, UFC record of 0-0. So this is his UFC debut, but his second MMA fight professionally. And like I said,
and then they UFC must have reached some sort of deal with WWE because I know on the pay-per-view this past weekend they had WWE footage of one.
And what's funny is they got to deal with TNA too, where Kurt Angle's going to break down the fight on one of their TV shows. So they got to deal with WWE
and
TNA.
They did that. They did that tonight, I think.
But how crazy is that? They got both wrestling companies, rival wrestling companies, promoting this fight.
And then
but anyways,
you heard that Kurt Angle was going to go to a UFC pay-per-view, right?
As a guest.
They were gonna send Brock was gonna do an interview on Impact, and then Kurt was gonna go to UFC pay-per-view, and the announcers would acknowledge Kurt and TNA Wrestling.
Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from? All right, here. I'll give you one more chance to be funny. Go ahead.
I think that's that same guy.
I know. Let me see what he's got. Come on, buddy. He is the real Hulk. That's the funniest thing he could come up with. He's had 10 minutes since he called last time.
Yeah, that's the worst prank call I've ever heard in my life, man.
Yeah, I know. At least we make it funny. I would enjoy a good prank. I mean, if somebody got us good, I'd be like, you son of a bitch. You got me. Anyways, let me just finish real quick. Brock Lesnar's a wrestler. Frank Mir is a big submission guy. So, obviously, the wrestler is going to want to take the guy down. He's going to take him down, and then once he takes him down, that's where Frank Mir wants to be anyway because he's good at submissions, and that's his game. So, even off his back, it's just a matter of can Brock Lesnar avoid submissions well enough? Can he control position good enough? And can he keep enough leather and elbows in his face to, stifle his submission game? I don't think he will. I think Frank Mir is going to win this fight. That's my prediction.
It'll be close, man. I agree with you. Frank Mir is no joke, and I just think Rock is such a beast, you know.
And let me run down 3 notes. I won't even delve into them. I'll just read what they are, and then we'll move on. Bob Sapp, Bob the Beast Sapp. He was in the WCW Power Plant for a while. He's famous in Japan, very famous. At least he used to be very famous. Fought for K1 and Pride. He will be fighting for Strikeforce, the California-based promotion, in their non-California debut. I think they've never had a show outside of California. It'll be at the Washington Tacoma Dome. Saturday, February 23rd, Bob Sapp will be taking on Jan the Giant Norte, who's also a K1 fighter who's fought in Pride. I believe he's fought in Pride. And so that fight will headline the Strikeforce card on the 23rd.
On a WWE-related note there, Bob Sapp was supposed to work a Japan date, and because of that Strikeforce show, he's not going to be a part of WWE. He was supposed to.
I read that. Yeah.
But no more.
Two more notes. The UFC filed a lawsuit against the legendary Randy the Natural Couture. It says, quote, "We are alleging numerous intentional torts which have caused Zuffa and the UFC significant harm," their attorney said, and it said, "Based upon that harm, we are seeking to address these matters before a court of law. The lawsuit seeks damages in excess of $10,000 and states that the amount of both compensatory and punitive damages will be proven at trial. It also seeks an injunction restraining Couture from participating in any way in any promotion competing against the UFC, which would specifically be the IFL, as he has a team named after him, the IFL, which is against his contract." Let me take this call and see if it's that goof guy again. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
This is a Bill Cosby. I was just wondering what they ever did with Shelton's mama, Jello.
The pudding pops. All right, I'll get rid of you.
That
was funny. I like that one. Good. And the last note, and then I'll get out of here with this UFC crap, was, what's that? Oh, yeah, Kimbo Slice, the internet street fighting legend, will be taking on former UFC legend and WCW wrestler Tank Abbott for Elite XC, which will air on Showtime and emanates from the Bank United Center in Miami, Florida, on February 16th. I'll actually be covering that show live, so you can check out MMAnews.com for a lot of exclusive video interviews and stuff like that for that show, which also features Yves Edwards and Antonio Jr. Silva, Scott Smith.
Soulfire from the chat says, "I want to see Kimbo Slice." Me too, buddy. Kimbo Slice and Tank Abbott are going to fight for Elite XC in a few months, right?
Yeah, that's what I was just announcing there. It'll be February 16th in Miami on Showtime for free. They were supposed to fight before, but the fight got called off. Kimbo ended up signing with Elite XC.
Do you think Tank even has a shot?
What's that?
Do you think Tank even has a shot in that?
They both have the same shot as the other. Let me put it that way.
Really?
They're just big brawlers.
See, I think Kimbo's just such a beast, man.
Yeah, but Tank is such a beast too, you know. I mean, they're just two big sluggers. That's it. And right now, Kimbo's got the better camp. He's working with Boss Rudin and a lot of good guys like that. But Tank has more experience, even though he never really, buckled down and took it very serious. Or if he did, the results never showed. But it's two big street fighting brawlers, and should be interesting to see who's the better brawler. Who's the king of the streets, as they say. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from? Caller.
Ryan, last show you offended me with your comments.
I did.
Yes, you did.
How did I offend you with my comments?
You know what you did, and if I get my hands on you, the last thing you're gonna smell is my steak and bread.
Oh,
you just got a promo on you right there. I like the promos. I mean, most people, like most straight edge, like Chris Cash, I'm sure on his hour number 2 show, which is great, by the way. Kip James will be on. I'm sure he avoids that crap like it's life or death. Me, I just think it's hilarious to see what they come up with.
I think it's hilarious, too. That was good.
I'm always curious. What did they come up with? What's their prank?
Whatever works. Anyways, the live chat room is kicking right now. It's WZROnline.com /radio. All the info's there. Live phone number 540-551-4869. Call up, chat with us. Also, we have a live forum. I know we're about to go off the air here in
we're gonna
10 minutes here. But what's up?
Yeah, let me just plug because I'm done with my segment here. We'll just go to MMAnews.com, www.mmanews.com. We're one of the top mixed martial arts news sites on the internet. We get more interviews than pretty much anybody. We got a lot of exclusive content, features, great forums, packed with diehard fans. All that stuff you're supposed to say to get you to type it in. Hopefully you're doing it as we speak. MMAnews.com.
I love these guys in the chat.
I haven't even looked at the chat the whole show. We're going to take a quick commercial break. The next segment's going to be nothing but callers. So if you don't call, it's going to be boring. So get this number written down and call us up. Actually, here's one right here. Let's see if this is another prank. I'm almost hoping it is because I'm starting to enjoy these. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
X him out.
Hold on. He's trying to funny thing. You gotta have better audio, man. I would have let you play your joke just fine, but you didn't get it through.
Right. Commercial break.
Yeah, we'll take a commercial break. 540-551-4869. We need your calls in this next segment because that's all we got planned. We'll be back with more WrestleZone Radio. We're finishing up in hour number 1 right after this.
Where do you go online to check out videos, movie news, trailers, sports, and video games? Allow me to make it easy for you. Head over to www.craveonline.com. We have everything I just mentioned and a whole lot more, including message boards, hot women, and tons of humor and comedy content that'll keep you laughing for hours. If you have an interest in something, I bet we'll have you covered at craveonline.com. That's www.craveonline.com. I'll see you there. For all the latest in mixed martial arts, be sure to visit WrestleZone's sister site, SureDog.com. Complete with daily news, exclusive video, interviews, live radio broadcast, interactive forums, and the very popular Fight Finder with bios and complete match-by-match histories of your favorite fighters. SureDog is the only place you need when it comes to mixed martial arts. Visit SureDog.com today.
WrestleZone Radio. New faces. New sound. New technology. WrestleZone Radio is back and better than ever. Join your new hosts, Chris Cash and Nick, the man of 1,000 names, every Monday night for the most informative, entertaining, and sometimes controversial radio show anywhere online. The not news of the week, in-depth discussions, interviews with today's biggest stars, prank calls, your call, and more. We cover the top stories around the world of professional wrestling, so don't miss it. Live Monday nights from 8 till 10 Eastern here on WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. It's WrestleZone Radio. Wrestling talk redefined.
We're back, WrestleZone Radio. Matt Boone, Ryan Clark, here to finish up hour number 1. Make sure to stay tuned to hour number 2, where Chris Cash and Nick, the man of 1,000 names or words. Names will take over and do their thing. They're a lot better than us, so it'll get better from here. And also, I'll be joined by Kip James, the former Billy Gunn. So he's always pulls no punches, just like RVD, just like Conan, some of the WrestleZone regulars. And definitely stay tuned for that. We'll be taking your calls in this segment. Ryan's got a couple notes he wants to get out of the way, and then we'll get out of here. So the number to call in is 540-551-4869. So give us your calls.
He says, Ryan, when I find you, I'll choke you.
Ryan, you offended me last week. All right, we've got a caller. Let's see what this guy wants. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where's you from, buddy?
This is Sean from Kentucky again.
What's up, Sean?
I wanted to thank you all for being good sports about the Bill Cosby stunt I pulled, and
that was a good impression.
Yeah, thanks.
That was decent.
And what are you all
Let me hear it again.
Oh, this is the Bill Cosby, and I was wanting to know what you think about Shelton Benjamin's push on ECW Jello.
That's what I'm talking about. Is that your real question, by the way?
Yes, that is my actual question.
All
what
right.
do you think about
Shelton Benjamin's push on ECW, Ryan? What do you think?
Yeah.
Benjamin's push on ECW. He's decent, man. I just think he lacks mic skills. I'm sure you'd agree with that. Other than that, he deserves to be pushed. We'll have to see. I mean, I don't think he's going to win the Royal Rumble by any means, you know.
Yep.
But, all right, a couple notes, dude. I got a couple more notes before we get out of here. And,
well, let me take this call again here. This is the call segment, and we promised, and we're going to take as many as we can here. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from? Caller. And we lost him. All right. Screw him.
Screw it. Little note here, kind of a big note. There's going to be a Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania this year, which they usually do. Somebody gets the briefcase, and they are able to cash it in for a title shot anywhere, anytime, any place.
Anywhere, anytime, any place.
Sid Vicious, who talked about returning as of late, no-showed an indie show this past weekend. That's not going to do him any favors. He actually came out and said that he didn't want to go to TNA because he felt that he had another 1 or 2 runs in him where he could sell out arenas with 70,000 people.
All right.
The exact quote. Another caller?
Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from? Caller?
I made a mistake.
You made a mistake.
I was a real horse's ass. I apologize.
Well, that's okay, buddy.
Kill it.
I apologize.
You gotta,
but you moved to Minnesota so we can get married there the first chance we get.
You want to get married? Hold on, let me.
We're going to piss off a lot of people who want to see us wrestle. Let's do it.
All right, you got boring. You got to be funny if you want. I mean, I'll let
you
go.
You gotta get rid of. You gotta get rid of stupid stuff like that.
I did. I was waiting to see if it was stupid or not, and it turned out to be stupid.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of that. That's stupid. But no, that guy's tried that way too many times. But well, what else? News? Sid Vicious no-showed. The thing. Oh, Jim Ross signed a new contract with WWE, new two-year contract. So he's going to be there a while longer. I'm looking at the WrestleZone headlines, by the way, and this 5150 with the Real Talk with Conan. If you haven't listened to that, guys, definitely check.
Let me do a hard sell for that.
Out.
Check out 5150 Real Talk on WrestleZone.com. Conan tells it like it is always. He's joined by his friend Ron the Truth Killings. Probably giving his last interview before WWE. He talks about hanging out with Tupac and all this stuff. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Yeah, this is Anthony from California.
What's up, Anthony? What's your question?
I got a comment and a question. My comment is about Sid. I think if TNA offered him something, he should just take it so he gets his exposure out there because he's too old to sell out 70,000 people in one arena. Mm-hmm. And second, everybody's talking about Big Show coming back tonight, but do you think it's a possibility that it could be Ron Killings?
From what he said on the 5150, he's still doing a movie. He's shooting a movie right now and working on some music. So he said he won't be. He said he couldn't give the exact date, but he said it will probably be after February or near the end of February.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
No doubt. Other news, but that Conan thing is really Conan and the Truth, definitely, guys. Check that out. Again, hour number 2 is coming up with Chris Cash and Nick, the man of 1,000 words, I believe it is. That man can talk, man.
I think his name is actually. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Do you think this is a joke, Ryan?
Oh, jeez.
Should we give him a chance?
Do you think this is a joke, Ryan?
I don't think it's a joke, sir.
Never mind. All right, we'll get another one. Caller, on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Keith from Providence.
What's up, Keith? What's your question?
Hello?
Yes, Keith, go ahead.
Yes, I'm just seeing what do you think about Big Show coming back tonight?
There you go.
I don't know. It's not confirmed by any means, but it's possible. It would make sense in a match with Triple H. I expect him in the Royal Rumble, and when he does come back, he's going to work a full-time schedule, which is going to include, house shows, Raw every week, and we'll go from there.
Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
John from Fort Myers.
What's up, John? What's your question, buddy?
Well, I just had a question about. Well, I've heard stories that Jeff Hardy is probably going to win at the Royal Rumble, and then drop it in the chamber to Shawn Michaels, and then possibly Shawn Michaels Triple H at WrestleMania. What do you think?
Yeah, it's possible. Jeff Hardy's, as of late, huge push on Raw. They've given him mic time. They've given him just a huge push. Do I think he's going to defeat Orton for the title? Honestly, no, I don't. I think Orton keeps the title. It could happen. We'll have to see. It all depends on how far they want to go with the Hardy push.
Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
It's Blackpool from the UK.
What's up, buddy?
I was
just wanted to know, who do you think's going to actually win the Royal Rumble?
But who do I think's going to win? Honestly, I couldn't tell you, man. It'd be just guessing. I mean, The Undertaker's a possibility. Batista's in there. Shawn Michaels is in there. There could be a surprise or two. We'll just have to wait and see, man. I honestly, I don't have any firm pick just yet.
Ryan fading away as the show ends, dog.
I am fading away, man. And you know what? I just caught myself doing it.
Wow.
And I was waiting for you to say something, man.
There's no way we're going to be able to get to all these calls. They ain't even stopped. Wow. They are not stopping. People love us, bro. What do you want us to do? All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with hour number 2. WrestleZone Radio will be joined by Chris Cash and Nick, the Man of 1,000 Names, will be taking over. They'll be joined by Kip James and from TNA, as the callers are screwing me up like crazy. We'll get some plugs. We'll give you the number one more time. Calling Chris and Nick. It's 540-551-4869. Also, check out the official website for WrestleZone Radio, WrestleZone.com/radio. And check out the WrestleZone main site where you can read the exclusive articles and audio features from our exclusive wrestling writers and participants: Conan, Chris Masters, Justin Credible, Disco Inferno, Greg Gilberti, and Scott Hudson and Kevin Kelly. And you can also chat with them one-on-one live in our discussion forums at forums.WrestleZone.com. Ryan, anything else before we get out of here, man?
Just plugging off sites. It's ProWrestlingScoops.com. Oh, you did it again.
Scoops with 2 S's.
That's Pro Wrestling Scoops with 2 S's, ProWrestlingScoops.com. The other website is TheWrestlingAnswer.com. Also, in the galleries, TNAWrestlingNews.com. TNA site, Chris Cash, Nick, the Man of 1,000 Words, names, whatever. Kip James, up an hour 2. For fun, and see you next Monday, right?
Stay tuned, people. We'll be back next Monday, hour number 1, WrestleZone Radio with Matt Boone and Ryan Clark. Till then, here's Chris Cash and Nick, the Man of 1,000 Names, right after the commercial break.
He considers himself God's gift to wrestling, and millions of his faithful agree. With nearly 4 hours of footage and exclusive commentary and matches, this DVD chronicles Daniel's rise from Chicago's Windy City Wrestling to the Asylum in Nashville, and finally to the top of TNA. TNA Home Video presents Heaven Sent, Hell Bound, the best of Christopher Daniels. Available at most retailers and TNAWrestling.com.
Hey, you, right there, the one listening to this show. While you're tuning into this broadcast or when you read the news on WrestleZone.com, are you forming opinions of it all? Or do you just agree with everything you see and hear? If you actually have some sort of afterthought, which, by the way, is normal, we want to know what it is. There are thousands of wrestling fans just like you that simply can't hold their thoughts in either. And they let it all out in our interactive forums. You have a voice, so use it. Simply visit forums.WrestleZone.com. Don't just be active, be reactive in the official WrestleZone.com forums. For all the latest in mixed martial arts, be sure to visit WrestleZone's sister site, SureDog.com. Complete with daily news, exclusive video, interviews, live radio broadcast, interactive forums, and the very popular Fight Finder with bios and complete match-by-match histories of your favorite fighters. SureDog is the only place you need when it comes to mixed martial arts. Visit SureDog.com today. Where do you go online to check out videos, movie news, trailers, sports, and video games? Allow me to make it easy for you. Head over to www.CraveOnline.com. We have everything I just mentioned and a whole lot more, including message boards, hot women, and tons of humor and comedy content that'll keep you laughing for hours. If you have an interest in something, I bet we'll have you covered at CraveOnline.com. That's www.CraveOnline.com. I'll see you there.
Available now on DVD. John Triton is on the toughest, most important mission of his life.
They have a hostage. It's my wife.
And with everything on the line,
I gotta do something, and I gotta do it now.
Nothing and no one can stop him.
See, I tried to kill this guy twice today.
Now, see the Marine in a whole new way with the unrated version. Get more edge-of-your-seat action, more mind-blowing explosions, more of the Marine. This unrated version features material too hot for theaters. Plus, special behind-the-scenes features. John Cena is the Marine. Only unrated version. Available now on DVD. Rated version also available.
WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know where to go. WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. Covering all the latest breaking news daily. Interactive forums where you can chat with thousands of other wrestling fans. Exclusive editorials and audio features by some of today's top wrestling superstars. Exclusive video content. Weekly polls. Live play-by-play coverage of every WWE and TNA pay-per-view. And now, featuring WrestleZone Radio, live with news, in-depth discussions, debates, and interviews with wrestling's top stars, past and present. When you think wrestling, think WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com.
WrestleZone Radio. New faces. New sound. New technology. WrestleZone Radio is back and better than ever. Join your new hosts, Chris Cash and Nick, the man of 1,000 names, every Monday night for the most informative, entertaining, and sometimes controversial radio show anywhere online. The not news of the week, in-depth discussions, interviews with today's biggest stars, prank calls, your call, and more. We cover the top stories around the world of professional wrestling, so don't miss it. Live Monday nights from 8 till 10 Eastern. Here on WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. It's WrestleZone Radio. Wrestling talk redefined. The following is being brought to you by WrestleZone.com, your number one source for all your wrestling needs. WrestleZone Radio. WrestleZone Radio. WrestleZone Radio starts now. Join us in the live chat room by visiting WrestleZone.com during the show. Now, here are your hosts, Chris Cash and Nick, the man of 1,000 names.
Yes, sir. It is time for our number 2, I believe. Yeah. I think it's our number 2 with Chris Cash and Nick, the man of 1,000 names, Ryan. 1,000 names. And we are here live on WrestleZone Radio, hour number 2, where we have news and discussion. And then, of course, our featured guest of every single week, which this week, coming fresh off of his TNA Impact tapings. As a matter of fact, he should be on the way home whenever we give him a call. Kip James, formerly Billy Gunn of the WWE. Now, we will be taking your phone calls throughout tonight's broadcast, and you can call in at 540-551-4869. That's 540-551-4869. I am going to preface by saying, as far as the phone calls go, Matt Boone and Ryan Clark, I guess apparently do not mind your prank calls. I, on the other hand, do. I know what numbers they are. I will not be answering those numbers, and you might as well quit calling. If somebody prank calls me, I will make sure that I don't answer your number as well. So just don't try. Just call in if you have a serious question or comment, and we would love to have you on the air. Want to throw out a quick promotional thing here. WrestleZone.com/radios, where you can get into the live chat room. So WrestleZone.com/radio. Let me introduce you to Nick, the man of 1,000 names. Nick, my co-host buddy, what's going on, man?
Not much. You got really upset there about the prank calls. I mean, you know, it's kind of like you're like, if you call in and prank us, I will turn this show around, drive back to my house, and go to sleep. Well, you're gonna hide under your bed.
Well, it's one of those things, man, where you and I've got a lot to get to in a short amount of time.
And when we have a guest on, I mean, I don't mind, Bill Cosby calling in, when it's just you and I talking, you know what I mean? And I love Bill Cosby as much as the next guy. Chris, we've hung out before. You've seen it many times. I have a tattoo of Bill Cosby on my right thigh.
Yeah.
So you know how much I love him. But, when we get Kip James on, we want some serious phone calls.
And you've got La Parka on your other side.
I've got La Parka on the other side. Yeah. and I have Rico's sideburns. So I'm ready to go. And I'm in high def tonight. So
very nice. I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and start off tonight. Let's go ahead and start off tonight with a phone call. Caller, right. You're live on WrestleZone Radio. What's your name, man? Or maybe not. Maybe not. Hey, by the way, I got to throw out a quick shout out to the guys that come on. They lead us in. They're going to lead us in every single week. Ryan Clark and, of course, Matt Boone of the first hour of WrestleZone Radio. And, Nick, you were tuning into that, and I'm here producing the show, so I'm listening. It was an amazing transition from the beginning of the show to the end with Ryan Clark. Did you hear him?
I noticed how he got more and more stoned. It was like doing an interview with Sean Waltman. You know what I mean?
Yes. By the end of it, he's making sense. He's up, and he's I guess you could use the word uppity. He's uppity, and then by the end of the show, not so much. But gotta give a shout out to those guys. Matt Boone and Ryan Clark will be leading us in every single week in hour number 1. Kip James coming up now this week.
I got to say though, Ryan's transition from uppity to just kind of mellowing out is far better than your transition from starting out uppity and ending the show wasted drunk.
Hey, I don't do that. I don't do that anymore, Nick.
Oh, all right. If I forgot, it's more of a professional transition onto WZR.
Well, I mean, let me. No, we don't need to get into that. That was
all right. Yeah, we don't need.
That's in my past. But I tell you what we've got tonight. We're going to run some stuff down before we get Kip James on the line. Kip James, a good friend of ours, a good friend of the show. And I'm telling you, you heard Rob Van Dam last week, and if you didn't, the archive is up at WrestleZone.com/radio. A hell of an interview with Rob Van Dam last week. I believe we have Christy Hemme coming up next week because she doesn't have the TNA tapings. And then Marty Jannetty's supposed to be coming up at some point as well. Christy Hemme next week. But tonight, Kip James, look forward to it, I'm telling you, because he's going to be another Rob Van Dam. We can always have fun with Kip. We can always get the best out of him because we know him, pretty well. So should be a really good interview. And actually, it's very appropriate because in the next month or so, TNA, from what I've heard from him, a lot of stuff going to be taking place with Kip James and BG and their group, and of course the tag team title shots that they've got coming up and their storyline. So should be a really good interview. But want to also kind of run down real quick beforehand. We will be taking your phone calls at 540-551-4869. And we're going to do a few things. First, we didn't get the chance last week, Nick, to talk much about TNA. And there's a couple of things that I want to discuss regarding TNA. And then what we're going to do is going to run down the Royal Rumble. We're just going to run down the matches, kind of give our picks and stuff. And then next week we'll talk a little bit. We'll have a Nick's Paper review more than likely where we run down what took place and what we thought of the pay-per-view as a whole. So let's go ahead and get started, because here's how I want to start our TNA discussion, Nick. I want to commend them and insult them at the same time. All right. As you know, within the last couple of years or so, WWE nor TNA has really had much of a woman's division, and WWE still doesn't. But TNA, I've got to commend them for the fact that they have done an amazing job with the Knockouts division. So I do want to start off with an applause and commend them for that. But in the same breath, I want to say that that's almost an insulting statement that, in my opinion, the women's division, the Knockout division, is probably the best thing they've got going on their television. And that is a sad, sad statement. It's a sad day in hell when the women are the most entertaining thing on TNA television. And some people might not agree, and if you don't agree, please call in and let us know, or talk about it in the chat room. You can do that, but please let me know, because I've got to admit that's the Awesome Kong and Gail Kim stuff that they've had going on has been phenomenal for women's wrestling. And some people just don't care about women's wrestling. I'm one of those that actually enjoy it if it's good, and it's been phenomenal in TNA. But it's sad that that's one of the best things that they've got going, Nick.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. And I think one of the reasons why it succeeds the women's division, that is on TNA, is that it seems like it's the one division that they leave to the wrestlers. What you're getting from them are just consistently good, entertaining, competitive matches. Both talents, if you're looking specifically at Awesome Kong and Gail Kim, they're fantastic wrestlers. And they really, they in my opinion, they do what TNA has always prided themselves on doing, which is putting the wrestling first. They let these women just go out there and be the athletes that they are and put on great matches. And I think that's something that WWE is sort of slowly getting into the hang of. I think I'm noticing at least that they're toning back on the amount of bra and panties matches and lingerie matches. I know we had one, I think, for the 15th anniversary special, but that was kind of a specific special night of its own. Or actually, I think maybe it was Raw Roulette. One of the two. But, you're seeing a little bit more of that push to kind of let the women wrestle in WWE. But TNA really still has the market cornered in terms of letting the women get in there and just wrestle. And I think that's why it's succeeding, because they're not throwing around a bunch of crazy, wannabe funny gimmick storylines that are blurring the amount of wrestling that these women can do.
Take, for example, last Impact with Shark Boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, just pathetic. And then you take and add Chris Harris in the mix, and kind of going away and just talking generally about TNA. Is it not funny how when somebody's supposed to leave their company, I mean, we've heard about Senshi and we've heard about Chris Harris. When somebody is about to leave their company, is that when they give them more TV time? Am I seeing that trend? I mean, now you're seeing Chris Harris much more than you have, and he's apparently leaving to go to WWE. And Senshi has never gotten as much TV time until he was supposed to leave a month and a half ago.
Well, I think it's because it might be TNA's way of trying to say, hey, look, all right, we're hearing your complaint, so we'll put you back on TV for a while.
Well, are they trying to keep them though? Which I think that would be great for Senshi. I don't know about necessarily Chris Harris, but
well, yeah, I mean, what they're doing with Chris Harris is stupid. So I mean, I don't. If I were him and they were throwing me in that kind of a storyline, it's sort of like exactly what WWE was doing with Carlito. When they figured Carlito was on his way out, I mean, they were jobbing him to Hornswoggle, for Christ's sake. So
right.
I think it was one of those kinds of things where it's all right. Look, if you're gonna leave, we're gonna do our best to kill any heat that you have with the crowd, any legitimate connection that you have with the fans, so that you don't bring that over to the rival company that you're going to be working for. But again, that might not necessarily be what TNA is trying to do. But at the sort of just in terms of what we're talking about, if we're talking about the women's division, we're talking about sort of the similarities between what's going on in WWE.
Hey Nick, hold on. Let's try to. I know I've been avoiding these for a while. Let me try to.
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead.
Let me try to take a phone call real quick. Hey, you're live on WrestleZone Radio. Who's this?
Hey, it is John from Texas. I just had a question for you guys. What do you think about Jeff Hardy's 30-foot drop on Raw last week?
Oh man, that was amazing. And actually, what was even cooler, Nick, was the fact that Randy Orton got on the deal, and so you knew something big was coming, because Randy Orton gets on the mic and he's like, hey, you do not want to miss this, and I didn't want to miss it. I mean, he made me tune in, and then of course Jeff Hardy. I guess, I'm not a big Jeff Hardy fan. Nick, I addressed this last week. I'm not a big CM Punk fan, but anybody that can go up and do that, you've got to give him credit. I give him credit. He deserves credit. He deserves his due, and he's good. I still don't ever. I will not ever see him as a world champion, but he's entertaining to watch at times. I will admit.
Well, but that's the thing, though, Chris. I think that what it comes down to is, and where I'll disagree with you is that I believe, a guy like a Jeff Hardy, he gives you something unbelievable to watch. And, again, I'm looking at a guy named Black Wolf here in the chat that's saying Jeff Hardy is just a spot fest. It's so hard because it's a damned if you do or a damned if you don't situation. If you're a guy that takes big risks, then you're all of a sudden known as a spot monkey or a spot fest. That's all you do. And if you're a guy that doesn't, take a guy like Randy Orton, for example. He's not a guy who's known for huge spots, but I think he's a great technical mat wrestler. Then you're just known as completely boring. So, it's like, come on, you got to have a little bit of each. I think Jeff Hardy is great. He's charismatic. He's obviously over with the fans. I am not seeing anybody. You got Jeff Hardy got a bigger pop, in Chris Jericho's second night back with Raw, that second week he came back. I'm telling you, Jeff Hardy got a bigger pop than Y2J.
I agree. I
he's
agree
so
with that.
over with the fans. He's giving you, the cage match he had a couple weeks back with Umaga. He comes flying off the top of the cage with the whisper in the wind. This is a guy that gets the crowd going, and I love what Hardy did last week where he climbs the first thing and you're thinking, here he goes, he's going to leap off this. Then what did he decide? He climbs even higher and makes this thing a 30-foot jump. Now I know, and I got to say, as many as people really love to see stuff like this, one thing that I've never been a huge fan of are spots off of the entrance ramp because the guys are always landing on a mat. And it really... to me, I'd rather see a guy go through a table because you can generally always see those big, huge, inflatable mats that these guys are going through. Now, they did a pretty good job of covering it up last week. If you notice when you watch the replays, you never actually see Jeff Hardy land on Randy Orton. So it takes away from some of the reality there. But again, I think the reason why people love it is because I don't care what you're landing on. It takes a hell of a lot of balls to climb 30 feet on top of anything and do, what he does, which is basically this, I don't even want to call it a flip because the swanton kind of, he flips his body over right at the last minute. And it's so dangerous. And he's putting his body on the line to get a huge pop from the fans. And that's just something that I think is great about Hardy. But again, Chris, I can understand your sort of your complaint with, well, how long is that going to go if he's actually the WWE champion?
Right. And somebody brought up a comparison between Hardy and Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels has done some spots, but yet he's an all-around package. And I agree with that statement. I'm not sure the comparison can completely be the same. Because, I guess in a way that might be the perfect, comparison in the fact that, Jeff Hardy could be a better, solid wrestler. And he's so unorthodox, though. And then sometimes that gets over, and it obviously does with Jeff Hardy. For me, specifically, I'm just not the biggest fan of it. But he is entertaining to watch, without question. In fact, if he did those types of spots every week, I'd probably sing his praises, but I don't expect him to, and I don't think that he ought to. It's just that's when he entertains me. Generally, he doesn't. He's not that great on the mic to me. He doesn't sound believable, but
I agree. We can
talk more. We can talk more about WWE a little later, especially next week. This week, I do want to make sure, but we're still supposed to run down the Rumble. Let's go ahead and take a quick phone call here real quick. Hey, you're live on WrestleZone Radio. What's your name?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm Rumteen.
What's going on, man?
California.
What's your question?
I was wondering, what do you think about them keeping the old or the John Cena title instead of bringing the old undisputed title, man?
It's a good question. I don't, to me, I'm kind of indifferent. It doesn't really make a lot of difference to me as far as what title they use. But now that they've went with it, I don't know if maybe just they like it better than the old one. It's a little bit more catchy, a little bit more new, a little bit more fresh and original than you see anywhere else. So I'm assuming that's why. I'm assuming that's the only reason that they kept it. But go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I don't think they can't bring back the undisputed title because that was a merger of the WCW title and the WWE title. And since the WCW title is defended on SmackDown, I guess what it would be that he's saying is to bring back a new WWE championship belt. But I think the thing is, and believe me, I've said this before, but for people who don't know, I am not a fan of the spinner belt. I hated it when they brought it out. I think it's just way too gimmicky looking.
You know, I bought one, man.
What the
I can't
point
believe
is,
you don't.
I know you got.
I can't believe you don't like it. That thing's the coolest thing
Not
ever.
only did you buy one, but I specifically remember clocking you in the head with it, and that was the same night that I stole your girlfriend and cut an intense promo on your ass.
That's
now,
true.
I don't really remember what it was I said because I had about 3.5 of hot damn in my system,
and we were playing
enough Taco Bell. You know, we were eating Taco Bell that entire week, and I probably had enough Taco Bell in my system to dirty like a year's worth of Mark Henry's underwear.
And we were play fighting on a bed in the hotel room, jumping off chairs, drinking shots, and hitting each other with real replica belts. And
so now that people know that about us, and we're probably about to see this number 64 users in the chat drop down to 3. You know, I think what they're really going for is that the Cena spinner belt brings what they hope, I think what WWE hopes Cena brings to the ring, which is that fresh, young, sort of hip audience. You know, Cena has this new, young, fresh edge that WWE is hoping is going to work for the show, and I think they're bringing in the belt to kind of, you know, replicate that same energy. So now that they've got it on Orton, who's also a guy who's new, you know, he's representing that sort of fresh blood, so to speak. It's not on a guy like a Triple H. I think that's why they have that belt there. Now, I'm not saying I agree with it. I'd love to see something else. But I think that's why they keep it around. And you never know. They may very well have plans to put it right back around the waist of John Cena when he comes back. Right. So they might be keeping it around for that reason.
You are listening to WrestleZone Radio, hour number 2 with Chris Cash and Nick, the man of 1,000 names. We've got Kip James coming up here in a few minutes, fresh off of TNA taping. As a matter of fact, he should be on his way home, taking the time to join us. Should be a very good interview, so make sure you stick around for that. We're going to have a little bit of a Royal Rumble discussion in just a minute. The only other thing that I wanted to discuss, going back to TNA, Nick, is the X Division. You know, we've talked about it. There's been rumors even within the last, I guess, 2 or 3 months that they've thought about doing away with the X Division. Now, whether that's going to happen or not, I'm not sure. But they're setting it up now at this next pay-per-view, basically where if they're going to do it, this would be the time. And I completely don't agree with it if they do. I don't actually think that they're going to, so don't quote me on this and saying, oh, they're about to end the X Division, or Chris said you said they were going to end the X Division. I'm not saying that. I don't actually expect them to do it, but there has been rumors. And if they do, I think that's going to be a huge, huge mistake. I do think it'll happen. Here's the thing, though. If they don't do away with it, my biggest thing is, you remember back when Kevin Nash was doing basically exactly what Team 3D is doing right now with the X Division. They're going against it. They're feuding with them and things like that. And, of course, Team 3D and these guys have been doing it a lot longer even, I think, at this point now. But I think that the reason behind it, the logic behind it, at least according to, to TNA, I'm assuming anyway, speaking for them, is because they want to try to, get these characters over. The problem, though, right now, at least, the only people they're getting over is, of course, Motor City Machine Guns and then Jay Lethal, which Motor City Machine Guns a tag team. At least at this point. They're still in the X Division, I guess you can consider it that, but they're a tag team. And then you've also got Jay Lethal, who's the champion, and he's not wrestling as a champion, he's wrestling as a threesome with Motor City Machine Guns. If this is the end of the feud, which I think it's got to be wrapping up pretty soon, if it's not this pay-per-view, it's got to be at the next one, I would imagine. I think it's going to be just like, the result is going to be the same thing as it was with Kevin Nash, Nick. What did they accomplish? Nobody got over any more than they were beforehand. What did they accomplish by putting Team 3D into the mix? That's me. I don't see anything going over here.
They're not, and I think their intentions, with Kevin Nash in the X division was to have a guy like Kevin Nash. I mean, it was pretty clear, have a guy like Kevin Nash who's a big name, give the rub to some of these guys that even though they were getting themselves over well as in-ring technicians, guys like Sabin and Alex Shelley and Jay Lethal, the one thing they were missing was that in-ring character. They weren't connecting with the crowd on a character level, and I think that they were hoping that Kevin Nash was going to bring a big name in to get them over. But the problem was, and we sort of predicted this and talked about it, was they went about it the wrong way by having Kevin Nash come in and bury the X Division as opposed to sing the X Division's praise. And I think that is your biggest problem. They came in and he just made it sound like, well, this is a weak division and it's not going to go anywhere. And and I think that they're on a similar path right now with I remember they started doing this thing where they you're taking guys like Scott Steiner and a Kevin Nash and the Dudley Boys. I mean, these are guys that are obviously too big to be in the X Division. So I remember Tenay and West always saying, Tenay would say the X Division is about, no limits. You know what I mean? It's not about a weight limit. It's about no limits, And then Don West would follow with something like, well, I thought the juniors division was only on SmackDown, and he just didn't understand what Tenay was talking about. But it's like, I think the major problem there is that you're not having guys who are putting over the X division. You have guys that these angles are all about destroying the X division and silencing the X division. And I don't think that's ever something that's going to help get them over. I think in the end, that's going to do more harm to the division than it will good.
Let's run down the Royal Rumble real quick. All we'll do is basically give our picks. You pretty much know what's going on. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about it next week. But let's talk about the Royal Rumble. I know you've got the card up, Nick. Run down the matches. Let's just kind of give a quick pick here. We'll take a short break. Come back with Kip James.
So the first match we have on the Royal Rumble is Chris Jericho versus JBL. And what do you see happening here, Chris?
I don't know. I think Jericho. No, this is probably going to be a pretty long feud. I'm going to say JBL goes over.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like the difficulty here is, Jericho and JBL are both sort of fresh returns. JBL's just coming back from being an announcer. Jericho's come back from his hiatus. I don't really see either one of these guys going over clean on the other guy. I say JBL picks up the victory. Or actually, I say Chris Jericho picks up the victory.
Yeah, I'm going to change
But
mine.
It'll probably be as a result of a disqualification.
I'm going to change mine and go with Jericho because he did have to put over Orton at the last one. So
that's true. He had to put over Orton.
Let's go with Chris Jericho.
I think I'm going to go with Jericho too, but again, I say it will not be a clean victory. I think this feud will continue, and I think JBL will probably get himself disqualified, and that's how
JBL is still as boring as he used to be.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
Are you joking?
You were out of your mind. That promo he gave last week on Raw, that was phenomenal.
All right, move on.
Looking at the camera, directing at Jericho's children.
We'll talk.
All right, I'll give you his segments go on way too long.
Okay.
It's too much time, but he's great when he's talking. But that's an argument we can have next week.
Yes, we can.
That's a great one, actually. We'll take phone calls on JBL. The next match we have United States Champion MVP taking on Ric Flair in a career-threatening match. I think this one seems pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Keep going.
But we're not going to say who.
No. It's obvious.
It is.
Do you not think that it's obvious?
I think it's obvious.
Then move on.
All right.
Or tell them who the obvious answer is.
I just like how we're not saying who the obvious person is. We should take a phone call. And maybe someone will say Bill Cosby.
Why do we?
No, I mean, obviously, you got Ric Flair going over in this one. His career is not going to be over at this pay-per-view. So, this is definitely MVP. I think it would be great if MVP just beat him in like 2 minutes and Flair's career was over.
But that would not be obvious. So that's not
no,
happening.
It wouldn't be obvious. But how great would it be though if MVP, they got in the ring, the bell rang, MVP kind of just wailed on him for 2.5 minutes, pinned him, and it was over, and Flair's career was done.
That would, yeah.
I'd love that. Anyway, the next match you got Rey Mysterio taking on Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. What do you see here?
Edge going over. Sorry, Ray. Yeah. Sorry, Conan. I love Ray to death. But, yeah, not again. Yeah, let's go.
I mean, and I'm not saying that's not going to happen at any point,
right?
But it's not going to happen now.
No.
And then finally you have Orton versus Jeff Hardy for the WWE Championship match. And again, I mean, this is my, look, I'm looking forward to this card, but I think aside from the Royal Rumble match itself, I think it's very predictable. I don't see Hardy going over here at all. I think the reason why they are doing this Hardy angle now is so that Jeff Hardy can get his match that a lot of people feel he deserves, capitalize on, how over he is with the crowd now, but then they can actually save either a title switch or a WrestleMania match for Randy Orton and Triple H. And that's again, my opinion. Anything could change, but, I think that's the track line they're going on there.
Right. And I agree. I don't think there's any chance for Jeff to go over.
And then that just brings us to the Royal Rumble match. And I don't know, man. Who do you think?
You and I were talking about that before the show. I have no idea this year. I mean, it's really, really hard. Yeah. Really, really hard. I have no idea.
Keep in mind that in the past, you've had three guys. You've had Shawn Michaels, you've had Hulk Hogan, and you've had Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those three wrestlers have all won the Royal Rumble back-to-back. So, I mean, we're talking 2 years in a row. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin is the only guy that's won it 3 times.
So you're thinking
consecutive times. So what I'm saying is it really could be anybody. If let's say, for example, could it be Triple H? I mean, I've talked to a lot of people who have said, no, it's not going to be Triple H because, he just won the Royal Rumble a few years ago. Well, history tells us that, it really could be anybody. It could be Undertaker again. I think what you really want to look at is who are they going to put in that main event spot at WrestleMania, and that's who's going to tell you who's going to win the Royal Rumble. And to me, I don't think it really matters if it's somebody who's won it before. I mean, it could be Shawn Michaels. And I don't think history will dictate on this one because we've seen it 3 times happen in the past where guys have won it back-to-back. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the one guy who's won it 3 times.
Right.
So if I had to pick, honestly, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I got this weird feeling. Well, I got 2 weird feelings. One, that Hornswoggle is going to make it through much longer than he should, and you're going to have a bunch of comedy going on with him during the match. And one thing I don't like in Royal Rumble matches is comedy. I like a straight-out, good, solid hour of great wrestling, like last year. I think it's going to be hard to topple last year's match because it was fantastic, especially with the final 2. But I got this instinct in me right now that's saying I think it could be Triple H that wins the Royal Rumble this year.
I guess my guess will be Triple H. I'm going to go with Triple H. I think he's the most, I don't know, probably the most, most predictable, most likely. That's the word I'll use. Most likely candidate is Triple H. That's who I'm going to go with, just because I can't think of any surprises that they're going to do. But I don't think he's actually going to win it. He's the most likely, and more than likely they'll probably do it. But I still think that it's probably going to be somebody we're not even thinking of. Should make it interesting though, because there's really no up front runner here, no front runner that's actually going to be a guarantee.
And no, it's true.
It's never completely a guarantee, but normally you know. And I still think they're setting up. I still think more than likely they will set up Orton and Triple H. So I'm gonna go with Triple H.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Triple H too. I mean, but again, like you said, and one thing I do like about, the heat going into this match is that they're really, it's not like a Batista or when Triple H came back or when Rey Mysterio was involved.
All right, hold on.
You knew these guys were going to win.
I'm going to take this phone call, and then we're going to get Kip on real quick. And
you got it.
Swear to God if this is a prank. Hey, you're live on WrestleZone Radio.
Hey, I was just wondering what you guys thought about the Big Show coming back. Which brand do you think he would be best on?
All right, appreciate the phone call, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, real quick, and that was something that I wanted to bring up, too. What do you think? I mean, there's rumors flying around right now that he may make his debut as early as tonight to take on Triple H, be the mystery opponent. How do you think Big Show, upon his return, how do you think he should be used?
I don't know. It kind of depends on what type of shape he's in. I mean, have we heard?
Well, apparently he is in great shape. He was apparently training because he wanted to enter boxing when he left WWE. He was contemplating either fighting or boxing, and so apparently he was working out like crazy. And I guess he's slimmed down to I think the last number I heard was maybe 470, 465. Which for him is great shape,
Yeah.
I think from when he left ECW a year ago, I think he's dropped 35 to 40 pounds. That's what they say. And I think that's one of the reasons why he wants to come back. So how do you think he'd be best used, assuming he comes and he's in good shape?
Probably the way that he's going to be. I mean, I think so many people come back like Triple H has, and so many people that ought to be used as a heel try to come back as a face. I say, you know what? Let's use a good heel on Raw, and if they actually bring him back, some people might be excited about the fact that he's back, but I think you can make him a heel pretty quickly, and putting him up against Triple H is the best way to do it. So let's do that. Let's bring him in, put him up against someone like a Triple H, or at least bring him back heel, because I think he's better as a heel. And if he's in good shape, then I'm excited to see, because Big Show was just always, he can be entertaining, I think. He just really hasn't been, because he's never been in the best of shape. He's very, very slow in the ring. You remember, just kind of came back to my memory, but and then we'll get Kip James on in just a minute. But you remember him and Kane having that technical wrestling match?
Oh, God. They were rolling around on the floor and trying to, it looked like
I commend them. I commend them for doing it. I commend them for trying, but you just don't do it. It just didn't make any sense. Let's go ahead and we're not going to take any breaks. We're just going to get Kip on. He should be on his way home. We got Kip James coming on, hopefully. Let's see if he's even around. I know he's expecting it. He always waits for my phone calls.
Let's tell him we're not on the air yet.
Hello.
Kip James.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's Chris. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man, what's going on?
None you on your way home?
I'm getting gas right now, and then I'm getting in the truck and hauling ass home. Yeah.
Well, hey, man, we're on a commercial break and stuff, so what's going on?
Nothing. I just got done. I actually had to work by myself tonight and fire Roxy, so.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, man, did you you fired her, but did you, fire her up beforehand? You know what I'm talking about, dude?
That's really funny. No. Have you seen her?
Well, she looks cute to me, man.
No, she is cute, but she's just not my type.
Oh, all right.
Hey, Kip, what's up? This is Nick. I'm here, too, man. How you doing?
Hey, Nick, what's going on?
Not too much,
I hope
man.
you're going to do the interview, because Chris fucking sucks.
Oh, yeah, I know he does. I'll do it. I'll control him.
Well, hey.
I hope you know more about wrestling than Chris does, because all he does is call me all the time and want to bother me about this shit. How do you guys do that wrist thing?
Oh,
how do you guys go behind
because you know what? Because if I were going to even study professional wrestling and maybe want to be a wrestler, I'm going to call you. I'm going to call Kip James to be my mentor on how to wrestle. As if there's not better choices out there than you.
That's a smart move right there.
Hey, man, I tell you what, while you're pumping your gas, I'm going to announce that we're live on the air now with WrestleZone Radio. Kip James as our guest on his way home from the TNA tapings. And Kip, welcome back. Welcome back to the show, man. I've missed you on there.
No, you haven't. You're lying.
No, you're right.
Because last time, yeah. See, I know you too well. See, I've done this show too many times, and why you keep having me on here, I don't know. I know why, because I'm good at it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, hey, man,
I'm on.
We've got a ton of people. We've got a ton of people in the chat. We've got to find out since last time what have you been up to, man? Other than, of course, what we've seen on TV. How things going? How you liking TNA? How you liking your job? Yada yada.
Yada yada. Well, I'm liking the job because I don't work that much. So, I mean,
Great.
no, really, no. I mean, it's for people that don't like to work. This is a good job. But if you like to work. I mean, I just happen to be one that really likes to wrestle all the time because I love being in front of people. But from your fan base and stuff, they hate me. So I guess they don't want to see me wrestle. But I like seeing me wrestle because I like wrestling and then watch myself on TV.
Well, now that
that's exactly why Chris does this show, because he loves listening to himself.
Yeah.
Even though our fan base doesn't like listening to him.
Yeah. See, so me and Chris do have something in common.
Hey, Kip, maybe you can say something stupid on this show and get yourself in trouble with TNA management again too.
See, why? See, Chris, why do you have to go there? Why couldn't this just be a nice, straightforward interview where you go, Kip, I've been watching you for years. I love what you do. But no. You're going to go straight for it because I said one thing. So I say one thing on somebody, wherever it was, and got in trouble for it.
Right.
Kip, are you trying to drive away without paying for your gas right now? I was hearing a...
Yes. No, that's right. Did you hear my tires screech?
Yeah, I heard a beeping noise in the background. It sounded like you.
that was it. That was me finishing and jumping in the truck.
And jumping in the.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, Kip, can I ask real quick before we get going into your stuff on TV, TNA, and everything like that? I want to know. We've got Conan working for WrestleZone.com. You're actually planning on maybe coming on and doing some stuff with the site in the near future, but. Conan, I know you've worked with him in TNA and stuff. He's a good friend of ours. Does 5150 on WrestleZone.com, and I remember him bringing your name up. And he's not the biggest fan of yours, from what I can gather.
Yes, he is. That's a lie.
Really?
That's a lie. See, right there, you're trying to stir something up right there. Because he's like one of my biggest fans, and don't let him ever tell you wrong. Because if he was like American, he would be me. But he's Mexican, so he has to be him. I don't know if that made sense, but it kind of sounded like I was trying to get back at it from some way.
I have no idea.
No, I don't know why. I've never had a problem with him. We did the thing, when I first came into TNA with him, and we never. I've always, liked what he did, and I thought, as a person of another, whatever, I thought he was good for what he did.
Well,
he was a good talker. I have one of those too. Yeah. I have a good talker. Yeah. Can't work, but good talker.
I know. I know that he said that he he doesn't care for the VKM gimmick. And,
so he said he didn't care for the VKM gimmick. So that meant that he didn't like me.
No. He also said
right here on your show.
No. He also said that he didn't like you.
Oh, he did not say that. You're lying. He did not say that.
I think he did. I will find.
You're being an asshole. No. I think how you got confused. I said on the show last week that I don't like you, Chris.
No.
And I think you interpreted that as
All right. Well, you know what? I'll find the damn thing that he said, and then
I knew you were trying to stir something.
No, I wasn't.
Conan never had problems.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what.
That's why I'm here. I'm the voice of reason.
Yes, I know that. I hear that.
All right, I tell you what. Let's do this because we do have a lot to discuss with your career. You've got a big. You've told me a little bit about it. We don't have to get into the actual thing. People can tune in on Thursday nights, TNA Impact, for that. But I would imagine since the last time we talked, more than likely, Kip, you've got at least a little bit to be excited about. Correct, as far as where you're going to be going in the near future with TNA on TV.
I am excited because I'm actually doing something. I'm actually involved in something now.
Right.
Which is good. I mean, it's a good little change, good little turnaround for TV and what we're doing. So I'm looking forward to it because it might lead me on a path of aloneness.
Aloneness.
Or I'm sorry, singles.
Mm-hmm.
Singles. All right.
Singles run. Sorry, I didn't put
Singles
that right.
run.
Hey, Kip, we hear conflicting stories from a lot of people that have been involved or that are involved with TNA as far as morale, and I know you'll shoot it to me straight here. I mean, from your experience, I know you're not the most sociable person in the world behind the scenes and stuff, but from what you can gather, though, what is the actual morale like in TNA?
I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not. I mean, it's some old guys, some young guys. Now there's 2 hours, so guys that are getting, what we call in the wrestling business a push is now they're getting attitude. Now they're getting a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? What is it? Cockiness. Over something. There's a word there I'm looking for, but I really can't figure it out.
Huh.
But let me finish the first part about me not being, the most likable guy. But I'll tell you why that is. Because what you see is what you get. I mean, I shoot it to you straight. I won't lie to you. I won't bullshit around. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Can we say that
Oh,
word?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I don't bullshit around. I don't, if you go out there and have a shitty match and you ask me about it and it's not good, I tell you it's not good. I mean, it's just point blank. That's just sucked. Mm-hmm. But if you come back and you want me to watch it, if you want me to watch a match and you want my honest opinion, then I give it to you. And a lot of people take that, not just that, but my attitude. I have a great attitude. I love this business, so my attitude's good. It's just I probably have the attitude that I'm better than everybody else, maybe.
So wait. It's not them that's cocky. It's you.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't be cocky to me because I'm the cockiest of them all. So
that's true.
You have to be like regular to me.
Right, because you're so cocky that if they try to be cocky with you, it pisses you off.
Okay,
right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But the thing is that you got.
I just shoot straight. I really do, and I try not to do it in a manner that really like breaks their spirit. Like when a horse doesn't do something, you kick the living shit out of it. I don't do that. I just tell them straight up. It's my opinion, and my opinion is my opinion. Somebody else might go, God, that was great. You're on top of it. I have never seen a match like that before. That's because they don't know what they're talking about.
Hey, Kip.
Because they're. Yes, Chris. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No,
Sorry.
I was just gonna ask if you're on the juice.
No, I haven't. I have been clean for like 4 months.
For 4 months?
Why did you ask me that?
Well, but because we're hearing now about I told you about it, a while back. We're hearing now about TNA doing this testing and these policies now and stuff because of Congress issues. And I've always heard the rumors, and hell, you've admitted to it in the past. So I was actually just more concerned for your sake. I was more looking out for my comrade, my buddy, my amigo, and I needed to find out. I need to find out if you were on the juice.
Trying to get to the question, how do you work your way into that without really, getting into it?
I think I did a pretty good job. I just simply asked.
No, you didn't segue at all. He was in the middle of making some other point about cockiness, and you just decided to ask him that.
But that's how Chris does it. That's how he gets me in trouble. It's by tossing one in. It's just like tossing one up and I knock it out of the park, and he just runs with it.
Are you off off the juice because of the testing specifically?
No, I'm off because it's just like I said it before. Yeah, I think there is a place for it in all sports. There is a place for it. But if it's monitored and done the right way, do I think it's an enhancement to make you better? I think it's, let me see if I can do this politically correct, or as correct as I get. There's a place for it. You got to look at it this way. We do not get a break. I mean, now, mind you, we don't work that much, but when you work all the time and your body takes a beating, Okay, say this is say for instance, this is all I know how to do. This is all I know how to do, and I'd like to stretch a couple more years out of it. Do I do it to where I just look ridiculously big and no, because then I can't move or anything. But do I do it to extend my career or to make my career last a little longer so I can, enjoy what I do? Sure. And is there a place for it in rehab and rehabilitation and to make your joints? Because our joints and everything take a beating. A lot of people just say, it's just an excuse to do it. And it's really not. It's not. All it is trying to keep yourself healthy because we have families we've got to take care of and we've got responsibilities. And if you can't do your job, you don't get paid. I mean, just plain and simple. You just don't. So if we're in an injury and we want to get better faster, say, yeah, there's a way. And there's a way to do it where there's under doctor supervision. And, I'm not trying to hit home runs. I'm not trying to play football. I'm not doing none of that, mind you. And that's their own issue. But our issue is we're on the road all the time.
Right.
I mean, there's no Super Bowl for us. There's just all year long doing what you do. And when you get the mat or you get hit with stuff it just takes a toll on you.
But the problem, Kip, is a lot of people don't look at it like you do. So obviously the reason why Vince and them guys are doing it, TNA's doing it, well, I say the reason why, more than likely the reason why is simply because Congress is getting involved and they almost have to. But, a lot of people have wanted them to do it in the first place because so many people don't monitor it and don't use it in moderation like you think or obviously like you do, and you think everybody should. So do you not think that unless everybody else is going to, use it and moderate it like you do, maybe it is best if you just simply do away with it, so maybe it will save some lives down the line?
Well, that's basically what's happened now. Now, I think it's a lack of, I do want to say ignorance, but I don't want to say that word. I do want to say it. I guess I do want to say it. It's a lack of interest. Just because they've never done it, all they've done it, it's all hearsay. And yeah, they've probably done I'm sure they've done studies on it and everything, but in all actuality, I don't really know anybody that's ever done it that goes haywire or berserko in a way that makes them, they call that roid rage or whatever. Yeah, you might get a little edgy, but then again, that's where the big-time road rages come in, is when you abuse it and when you don't do it right. I mean, obviously there's use for it because they make the shit. So somebody didn't just make it and then the pharmacies went, well, this is a big seller, let's sell it with a script. For what? Well, it's for muscle, it's for degenerative muscle stuff, and I don't know all that fancy medical words. But, they obviously make it for a reason. Is it to take $100,000 worth of shit a year and be, 350 pounds ripped to shreds? No, of course not. That's not what it's for. But it's to make your muscles respond better, keep your joints from completely falling apart and all that rubber stuff that's in between there and stuff like that. So there is a use for it. Is it to abuse? No, there's nothing made to abuse. So that's kind of how I feel about it, if that made sense.
So what you're saying is you blame Chris Benoit.
Do what?
What you're saying is you blame Chris Benoit.
What do I think about Chris?
No, you blame him.
Do I blame him?
Well, yeah. More than likely, if it wasn't for him, none of this stuff would be happening, and you'd be able to use
but again, you've got
use and abuse like you know.
You've got a doctor with Chris Benoit that allowed him to do this and was giving him the prescriptions to completely abuse the drugs. So, again, I understand that it was him doing it.
You would blame the
doctor who's giving it to him.
You're going to blame the doctor over it. But people, I would imagine, Kip James, you could probably find that same doctor. You're not obviously, going. And I'm not saying that I was joking in a way about the whole blaming Chris Benoit thing, because I don't think that it was roid rage. It's too methodical, and I think people are stupid for saying that. But the worst part about it is now this is the outcome. This is the result. This is what has happened because of what Chris Benoit did. They want to blame steroids, and now it is like almost one bad apple basically ruins it for the rest. And I'm not saying, Kip, you specifically, but now Congress is getting involved when otherwise they probably would have stayed out of it like they've done for many, many years.
Yeah, well, I don't really want to put the blame on anybody. I don't want to put it on Chris. I don't want to, Chris's deal was something, I don't know what it was. I mean, still to this day, I sit around and try to figure that one out, but never will. Because there's only 3 people that really know what went on there. So, but I mean, if you're going to blame, that makes a point. If you're going to blame somebody, blame the doctors for giving him so much stuff. But I don't know that situation, so I really can't. I don't know what to say about that situation. All I do is talk about me and what my situation is. I mean, it's not like you have to doctor to get the stuff anyway.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, you don't need a doctor for anything anymore these days. This day and time, you just go to your local street corner somewhere and you can find whatever you want. So, I mean, you have to put the blame somewhere, and you got to start on yourself. I mean, if there's a problem with it, then you have to blame yourself. You can't blame. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. Just because a doctor gives you a bunch of stuff or, somebody else, they're not making you do it. They can do truckloads, but that doesn't mean just because they give you truckloads, you got to do it.
Right.
You just, you got to blame yourself for doing that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Somebody had brought up in the chat room, I thought was a good question, kind of changing topics, though. Dixie Carter apparently held a meeting not too long ago and gave people an opportunity to, I guess, get up and walk out of their contract. Is that part accurate?
Well, I'm sure that's nothing nobody else has already heard already, because obviously so you read it somewhere. And I think what the statement was is if you're not happy here and you want to bring it's just anywhere. If you're miserable and you're bringing the company down and bitching and moaning and complaining all the time, they don't want you. Because when you're starting up a company, you can't start up a company with a bunch of booby-faced people.
Right.
You have to weed out who doesn't want to be there. Weed out what's going wrong in your company, and if it's a certain individual or individuals that don't want to be there, then they got free walking papers to get out. If you don't like it, just literally get out. They don't want you anymore.
Well, and I don't want to get you. I
understand that. I mean, I understand that because if I'm starting up the company and I got like half my employees don't want to be there, then you get fired. You got to go. And then I'll find somebody that wants to take your place. Because God knows there's 4 million wrestlers out there that would love to have somebody's spot on TV.
Oh, sure. And I don't want to get you in trouble. I'm asking you because specifically, if that opportunity had presented itself, I guess my only question was at one point I figured that there was a good chance that maybe you would have taken him up on that offer, I guess.
So you're trying to get me in trouble.
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you could be.
If I wanted that offer, I could have taken it then, and then there would be no questions asked.
Well, again,
I mean, there wasn't going to be any questions asked. Anybody did it.
I agree. So you, at the time of her offering that, were you were 100% happy with TNA?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was. I mean, if I wasn't happy or wanted out, I could have got out. I could have went out and got out and left and, and still had all my friends. I still got all my friends there, but I mean, I could have just walked away. But I chose not to.
Hey, I remember. And also, again, I know. I know. I know you. I know you had said at some time that there, you and Brian, I believe, and BG had said at some time that there was that possibility of going back up north. Is that possibility still there at some point in the future?
I don't know. I mean, I don't talk. I don't really. I don't know. I don't know if they want.
Oh, come on, Kip. Sometime it wasn't that long ago that the phone was ringing off the hook, man. They wanted you bad.
Say that again. Do what?
Say
that again.
It was, no, I'm not. I'm done.
Well, I don't know if we know that. I mean, I
know that.
And I know that we were talking about it with you one of the last times we interviewed you in terms of reuniting DX and what you guys thought about that and if you wanted to go back there.
Yeah. Phone was blowing up over at Kip James' house.
Yeah, I wish if my phone would have been blowing up. I don't know if my phone blows up. Hell, I'd never answer the damn thing.
That's true. You're too busy talking, calling me and bugging me.
Yeah, that's what I do. I call you all the time.
Let me ask you this real quick before we got a few minutes left. I do want to know though, overall, I know you've got some big things going on. I do encourage people from what you've told me and stuff. It seems like it's going to be a really cool direction with you and BG. It's going to be, happening on Thursday night. It's going to actually be getting some airtime, which I'm very excited about for you. Kip James looks like the future, at least the immediate future, is going to be pretty good in your favor. That being said, overall, though, I want to know, Kip, what do you think about, and you can be PC because that's apparently the route you're taking tonight. What do you think? What do you think about the overall product that TNA is putting out every Thursday?
I think they can switch some stuff. I think they need to switch some stuff around because they got 2 hours now, and I'm happy that we're finally doing that because I hate being stifled. I hate not doing anything. I hate not contributing. It just felt like we weren't contributing at all. And I don't want to say. I love this business, so that's why I do it. I don't do it just for the paycheck. I do it because I love this business, and I want to see this business grow, whether it's here, wherever it's at, or wherever I'm at. I want to help in some way or form or fashion, and I just it just felt like I wasn't getting used at all, or my input on anything, or just trying to help other people, or help young guys, help old guys, help whoever I want to help, or help whoever they need me to help. But I think some things can change. I think they put a lot of emphasis on certain people, and they need to get their talent out there some more because they do. I've always said they got great, young, good talent. But I just don't think they're used on TV the right way sometimes.
Right.
Kip, how do you feel about and how is backstage in TNA? How is everybody reacting to, veteran guys from WWE? Starting with guys like yourselves. Now you got Booker T coming in. How's TNA reacting to those guys? Are they looking at that as an influence or not?
Yeah, I think they love it because it brings more exposure, and everybody knows that's what this is about. It's getting exposure, getting TNA out there. So, if it's Booker, Kurt, Christian, Tonka, AJ, I just think they just got to get exposure. When you bring a name like Booker T, who's done so much in this business, you have to tune in and check it out because that's what it was about. That's what it's about. It's bringing exposure to TNA and getting them out there.
Hey Kip, man, we're about to.
Are you caught in a tornado right now?
do you have the?
No, I'm not caught. No. The only tornado I'm caught in is the one Chris is building up right now.
Yeah,
I know. It's funny. Somebody in the chat room apparently don't know me quite well enough. They claim I'm an asshole. They think that I'm being mean to you.
Well, I love how you think you're not. You are an asshole, Chris.
No. At times, if I didn't like Kip so much, I wouldn't act the way that I do around.
Yeah, exactly. And you wouldn't be you if you weren't an asshole. Just like if I wasn't me, people would go. If I wasn't an asshole, people go, "Damn, what's wrong? Are you sick or something?"
Yeah, exactly.
I understand, Chris. You're one of those. Get down and get through all the bullshit and just spit it out.
Well, because you got to realize when you've interviewed somebody 20 damn times, and it will get old and boring if you don't keep it fresh, and that's why every time Kip comes on, it's almost a challenge. You've got to make it as interesting as the first time, and I think we do a good job of doing that.
Thanks, man. I love being on the show.
But Kip, I do want to congratulate you with what you've got going on, because I do actually, and this is me, personally, as a friend of yours and as a fan of TNA and as a fan of yours, I do think that it's going to be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to it. From what I hear, it seems like it's going to be really good. So I do want to encourage everybody to make sure they tune in Thursday nights for Impact and watch Kip James, BG James, of course, and what they're going to be doing in the near future. And Kip, of course, will have you on again in the future. Anything else? You don't have any websites and stuff to promote. So anything that you do want to promote, though?
I want to promote that when my wife listens to this, that I love her. because she gets high because I never mention her on these things. And And so I know she's going to listen because she loves listening to Chris because I guess she loves assholes. So
yeah,
listen, and I have to like just mention her or she's going to be mad at me.
Yeah, you need to tell her. You need to tell her that I said hi too.
I will.
I haven't gotten the chance. I haven't gotten the
when
chance.
you talk to her later, just tell her, all right?
Yeah, I know. I haven't talked to her since last night, so you need to just remind her that I love her too. So.
Okay.
But hey, Kip, it's always fun, and you also need to tell your lovely girlfriend that she needs to send, the W9 to me.
Oh, yeah, because she already sent it to you and you lost it.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. As a promotional effort, there is a good possibility that at some point we'll get our ducks in a row. Kip James will be joining us on WrestleZone.com exclusively, answering your questions in the forums, maybe doing some sort of, audio segment every once in a while, something along those lines, and you can look forward to that. Kip James, always a pleasure, my friend, and I guess we will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming on, man. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Right,
Good luck, man.
All right.
That's Kip James, one half of VKM, at least for the time being. We don't know exactly, how long that's going to last. Stay tuned. Thursday nights, TNA Impact. Good friend of mine. I apologize if people. Nick, I wasn't that much of an asshole, was I?
No, you were you.
Yeah, I was just.
In a few weeks, people will start to figure it out. Well, I think what we should really do is we should try to get BG to come on and really put you in your place, because the last time we talked to him, I was having fun listening to that.
Yeah, I don't even.
Because he was whooping your ass.
I don't remember it. I tell you what though, as the music starts, we are getting out of here. Go enjoy Raw. Make sure you tune in next Monday night. Christy Hemme is supposed to be joining us. We'll have that confirmed this week. WrestleZone.com/radio is where you can go to get all the updates on upcoming guests, etc., and obviously the archives as well. I'm Chris Cash, along with Nick, the man of 1,000 names. Email us WrestleZoneRadio@yahoo.com. For Kip James, we appreciate you coming on. And Nick, anything else, man? Lead us out of here somehow.
That's it, guys. Enjoy Raw in high definition tonight. We will see you right back here, same time, same place on WrestleZone Radio.